Welcome to the International News Channel, News LD. Today we present to you a news entitled,
Several points of law raise a possible censorship of the text by the Constitutional Council. Hardly ever has the Constitutional Council, chaired by Laurent Fabius, been beneath a lot stress. The 9 judges should render choices of main significance on April 14. The primary issues the constitutionality of the invoice adopted in Parliament, so as to postpone the authorized retirement age to 64, after recourse to Article 49 paragraph 3 of the structure. The opposite pertains to the admissibility of the request for a referendum of shared initiative, RIP, launched by the left in order that retirement can't be mounted past the age of 62. The Constitutional Council was seized on the one hand by the Prime Minister, Elizabeth Bourne, but additionally by deputies from the left and from the nationwide rally, in separate referrals. Learn additionally, article reserved for our subscribers pension reform, the Constitutional Council in the position of arbiter since then. Many voices consider that the chance of censorship of the authorities' text is actual. Thus, the constitutionalist Dominique Rousseau affirmed in an interview with The World that it appears troublesome for the Constitutional Council to not censure the law on pension reform as the grounds for unconstitutionality for causes of type are severe. It's true that several points of law raise questions and raise the chance that the Council will revoke the text. Create a precedent. The topic that appears to be the least uncertain is the censorship of social writers, measures that don't have any direct relationship with a budgetary text. That is the case, for instance, of the Senior Index, aiming to oblige sure corporations to publish indicators referring to their fee of employment of senior workers every year, or the CDI Senior, aiming to create a new kind of open-ended contract to advertise the recruitment of workers aged at the very least 60 years previous, which might be challenged. At a minimal, there ought to be censorship of these parts on which parliamentarians have spent a lot of time discussing. In its opinion, the Council of State had additionally underlined this threat, remembers Paul Cochet, professor of public law at the College of Paris I Panthéon-Sorbonne. With a perverse impact, these measures are the considerably social counterparts of the text. If they're censored, it could have the impact of hardening it much more. Dietary supplements, for its half, Cécile Guérin argues, professor of public law, at Paris II Panthéonices. Additionally learn the interview, article reserved for our subscribers. Dominique Rousseau, constitutionalist. It appears troublesome for the Constitutional Council to not censure the law on pension reform. However, the coronary heart of the examination is elsewhere. That is the query of a possible abuse of process. It is the strongest argument, considers Stéphanie Hennet-Vachez, professor of public law at Paris Nanterre. As a result of the alternative of the authorities to move its pension reform by a draft law on the amending financing of social safety, PLFSSR, allowed it to make use of the system offered for in the second paragraph of Article 47.1 of the structure. Reserved for budgetary texts, this provision permits it, previous inside 20 days after the submitting of an invoice, to grab the Senate if the nationwide meeting has not completed inspecting the text inside the time allowed. Anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S. are at the highest level recorded since the 1970s.